Hello, welcome to Sky Sweaty Record Review, episode 154, the only first listen new music review show hosted by a French professor immediately after leaving the YMCA. Today will probably be kind of a quick episode. I'm not sure how much I have to say about this group. Now, they're called the Harmaleighs. Harmaleighs. And the difficulty of remembering, saying, and spelling their name is perhaps indicative of a general difficulty that I've had in reviewing this record. First of all, I like this record a lot. I ended up listening to it basically 1.5 times because I had my workout yesterday cut off for strange reasons. So I've gotten used to this album and I really like it. It's very solid. But I get the sense that maybe this band needs like a PR workover or something. The name itself, it's a duo. It's two women. One plays guitar, sings, and I think writes all the songs. Another plays bass and sings harmonies. That's kind of an interesting story. They're from, I think, Nashville, I read somewhere. But everything that I read about this band was from their previous album. And there's not really that much information about them anywhere. Harmaleighs is neither of their last names, and I can't even really figure out if it's a portmanteau, a clumsy portmanteau of the two names. So I just wish there was something more to grab onto, because really this is quite a solid album and I enjoyed it a bit. Probably a good bit even. I have a hard time placing this as a genre. Probably just indie rock. In general, musically, it's very simple. They're not trying to, do complicated rhythms or time changes or anything like that, or complex chords or melodies. It's fairly straightforward for the most part. It's just kind of, straight rock and roll drum beat, with sort of music on the fifths, but solidly. And the singing is nice. I mean, with female vocalists, I think the biggest danger is over-singing and over-stylization. And once or twice on this album does the singing get there. But in general, it's just very capable, not over-sung singing. At times, the production gets a little bit more interesting. Like on a track called Tidy Up, which is quite a good one. There's some electronic bits added into it. It's mostly an acoustic album. I mean, acoustic meaning not computer. So, electric guitars and everything, and acoustic guitars, but very little sort of synthesizer or sequence drums. But they do throw it in on the song Tidy Up. There's strings in a song called Mannequin, I think on the last track as well. The real low points, I would say, is the last track, which just gets a little bit maudlin, and the vocals get a little bit too stylized. But in general, I think the best thing for me to do is just play for you what I think is the most exemplary track on the album. That actually contains the title of the album, which is She Won't Make Sense. I think that title refers to the singer's girlfriend. If I can pick up what the whole album is about, I think it's that. Thematically, actually, before I play the song, it's an interesting album because the main thing that she sings about is not moving. There's multiple songs about not being able to get up and make yourself food, or feeling tied up and not being able to move around, or not getting up and doing something. So it's an interesting theme, right? It's not really about self-destruction. It's more like a lack of production. Not self-destructive, just unproductive. So, that's cool. I always appreciate music that has a theme or an interesting push, and if I were in an unproductive mode of my life, I think I would appreciate this album a lot. That's kind of speaking to me. But the track I'm going to play is called Dim the Light, and this contains the lyric, She Won't Make Sense. So I don't think it's about someone saying that to her. I think it's her saying it to somebody else. I think there's maybe some kind of breakup or unhappy relationship going on here somewhere. So I'll play you a little bit of this song, which is, if you like this, I really suggest going out and listening to it. I would listen to it in general, especially if you like things like Camera Obscura, the Scottish group from a decade ago. That kind of female-led rock and roll that doesn't quite have its own genre. It's kind of poppy, it's kind of rock, even seems country at times, seems almost soulful at times. I would say that's the closest comparison I could make. So here's the track Dim the Light, which is not my favorite track. I'll play that one too, but this is one which is the most exemplary. I don't remember this opening. Okay, there you go. There's the cover. Pretty solid cover. I like that. Those are the two members of the band.
I'll admit I've been in my head.
So, you know, nice strong bass from the one of them. Nothing too complicated, nothing too challenging, but well executed. Ready. Okay. So, you know, like, it did develop, the song did develop, it did go somewhere, but it wasn't necessarily somewhere completely unexpected. My favorite track on the album isn't that, even though that's the most exemplary, and it's a track called Moving My Body, which has this nice thing where the vocals match the sort of melody of the guitar and what's being played, and it's just kind of a nice catchy song. Another track about not moving, which is kind of funny. This is the catchiest song as well.
My hands are tied up and I'm shaking. All of my veins are light blue.
So that kind of a little bit, probably their catchiest song. So there you go. For some reason, this reminds me of this whole album reminds me of a conversation I had with someone in college. It was this girl who I probably had a crush on, but yeah, I was in a relationship, so it was a little bit weird. I don't know what. And she was an actress, and she was a talented actress, and she was not unattractive, but she was very tall. And she would tell me that, like, the difficulty is she'll never be an ingenue. And I didn't know what that word meant. I was like, yeah, you'll never be an ancient shoe. You know, I didn't know what she was talking about. And she was explaining to me that, like, the best roles for women are, like, ingenues. You know, like petite, ethereally beautiful, mysterious women who are the object of affection and who live these amazing lives and get any kind of, I don't know, like, good treatment or seen as this great prize, which of course isn't really good treatment. And so she was expressing this frustration, you know, that she'll only ever be like the best friend or a character actor. And it was really sad. And I tried to tell her, like, no, that's not true, but it is true. You know, the ingenue is often the best role for women in a movie or a play, and there are certain women who do not have access to that. And for some reason, this album makes me think of that. I actually don't know really what they look like. I don't know if they're beautiful or not beautiful, but the whole album itself, maybe because of the song Mannequin, she sings about feeling like people wish she looked different, but the whole album kind of feels like maybe the expression of women who don't get to play that role of the self-destructive ingenue, you know, who don't get to sort of be this person, but instead get to be the much more interesting character actor who get to lead real lives and not actually just be the object of affection. They can be the subject of... Damn it, I forgot to turn off the Do Not Disturb thing. I forgot to turn on the Do Not Disturb thing, so I got a call from Julie from the processing center. Anyway, I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. If you're a fan of the Harmaleighs, am I onto something with this perspective? I don't know. I'd give it a shot though. If you like female-led rock and roll music that's not overproduced, that's not oversung, that's got solid minimalist songwriting with a solid thematic, give it a shot. Hey, but I got an extra dog here for the end of the video. Want to say hi, Toby? You are all washed out. You're in the sun. Okay, well then, until next time, where I'm gonna review something else. There's the camera.